Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
Well, here I am, Reverend Father Michael Savage, joining you today, the day after Baltimore's cleaning up from the liberal riots. The liberal riots of 2015 are behind us. A city was burned to the ground because of liberal policies, weakness, a stand-down order from the mayor, which we broke, by the way, on the show yesterday before Fox News got the news. We had a caller who confirmed that the moronic mayor, the liberal mayor of Baltimore, told the police to do nothing, which is why the city burned. So I don't want to talk about Baltimore. There's nothing I can do about it. What I do want to talk about is gay marriage. And the reason I do want to talk about it is because it's a very big topic, number one. Number two, the Supreme Court is deciding this as we speak. And number three, even the Twisted Sisters at CNN are reporting the following headline. And here is the headline from the Twisted Sisters at CNN. Supreme Court justices skeptical of redefining marriage. That's the headline. It's very easy to understand. They're not responding to the pressure groups. They're not responding to guilt. But the Supreme Court itself were divided, of course, over the constitutionality of gay marriage. And you know you're going to have the libs like the clear libs, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was never, ever qualified to be on the Supreme Court. Never. The woman was a diehard leftist fanatic, former chief counsel for the ACLU. Never should she have been made. Anyway, you know she's for it, along with the other liberals, right? But the other side is always going to say no. So there's always the swing voters, right? Justice Anthony Kennedy is the court's pivotal vote, and he seems to be swinging against gay marriage. Chief Justice Roberts, who shocked everyone with his swing vote to uphold Obamacare, remember that, is this time apparently leaning more closely to conservative justices. Now, the arguments for and against gay marriage unfurled inside a packed courtroom Tuesday, with one loudmouth protester even interrupting the arguments from within. Of course, they can't keep their mouths shut. You know, the leftists think that it's their right to interfere with everybody's life. But the question on Tuesday centered around the definition of marriage itself, period, and whether the decision to authorize or ban gay marriage should be left to voters in individual states or decided by the judicial system. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to give you my opinion right from the front so you don't think I'm sitting on the fence. I am a sexual libertarian. I've said that for many years now. It's a term I defined so you understand where I'm coming from. But with gay marriage, I oppose it completely because I say this, and I've said it, I'm very consistent on this. I said I'm a sexual libertarian for years. I said, do as you will, fais ce que voudras, to use a French phrase that I learned from my good friend Rabelais. Do as you will, just leave me alone, number one, and number two, leave the children alone. Don't mess with the children's heads. Children are malleable. Children don't know what they are. They don't know what to think. That's why they're called children. Adults are supposed to teach children how to behave. Take a look at Baltimore. No fathers, no mothers. So it's the same with regard to social mores as it is with moral mores. And I believe that the children should be left alone because this confuses them. So I'm opposed to gay marriage for that reason. It's that simple. I didn't say I'm opposed to people being gay. If you're gay, good luck to you. That's what you want to be. Who's going to what are you going to care what I think anyway? What's the difference what I think? What is the difference what I think if that's what you are doing? What do you care what I think? Why should you care what I think? You don't care anyway what anyone thinks. We live in a society where everyone does what they want. But now you're demanding that society reaffirm what you want society to reaffirm. While most of society opposes gay marriage, as do all cultures on planet Earth. There is not a religion on earth that supports gay marriage. You're going to tell me Islam supports it? No. You're going to tell me what Buddhism does because you don't understand Buddhism? Buddhism is a traditional religion that opposes gay marriage. Don't tell me about Buddhism in Marin County. Hinduism opposes gay marriage. Judaism opposes gay marriage. So Christianity? What is Christianity's in favor of gay marriage? Where? There's a case here in San Francisco of an archbishop who has the guts to stand up to the vehement hatred of Catholics in the city who are doing the bidding of God knows whom by ripping them to shreds. I mean, they're making him into Jesus. And he's 100% right. What he's saying is the Catholic Church opposes gay marriage, and the Catholic Church views marriage as between a man and a woman, end of story. And he's trying to impose some moral values on some of the adherents in the Catholic schools and the Catholic Church, and for that he's being torn apart. My position is very clear on the Archbishop. Either you're a Catholic or you're not. And if you don't like Catholicism, become an Episcopalian. And if Episcopalianism is too rigid for you, then become a Reformed Jew where you can do whatever you want. That's all. You can tell Woody Allen jokes and claim you're religious. So without getting into gay bashing, which I will not permit on the show, I'm not going to go into, some of my best friends again. I'm not going to say that. I've had gay friends in my life. I don't currently have any because I have no friends right now. And I discriminate equally against everyone. I have no friends. I live alone, basically. I have a few people I talk to, and it's me and a dog. There was a time I had a very close friend in the family when the children were very young who was gay, who I let babysit the children, by the way. I didn't have cameras in the house worrying about I used to joke with him. We'd go out and have he was a very nice guy. He would he'd babysit the kids, and I would say, we caught you on the camera. And he would laugh hysterically. I mean, that's the kind of friendship I had. We had an open friendship. That's all. I never bothered anybody. So don't think that I'm a homophobe because I'm not. And I'll go back even farther in time if you want me to. When I was young, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, rather, in Queens, New York, one of the group, I don't remember his name, became gay, or decided he had become gay. No one ridiculed him or made fun of him. No one called him a sissy behind his back. In fact, he was so tough he could beat most of us up. He was on the macho side. He's a big, strapping guy who decided that he liked men. So that was it. We all sort of went our own way. I don't know where I think he died eventually from something else, nothing to do with that. But it wasn't an issue. It was what it was. I lived in a big city. People did a lot of things that they wanted to do. So now the country is deciding to redefine marriage. That's what it comes down to. And a lot of gay people, I think, even are against gay marriage, incidentally. You don't know that, but many gays oppose gay marriage almost for the same reasons I do. And I don't understand for the life of me. I do understand completely what this is about. This is about redefining society. And that's why this is being heard before the Supreme Court. And I've given you my position. We see the Supreme Court justices are skeptical of redefining marriage. I will have for you in this hour where the 2016 candidates stand. You can pretty much figure out where they are on this. And I'll read you their positions on it. And you'll decide for yourself what you want to think. And we're going to play some of the sound from the Supreme Court. In fact, let's start with John Roberts, the man who shocked the world by backing Obamacare, in clip 29.
My question is, you're not seeking to join the institution. You're seeking to change what the institution is. The fundamental core of the institution is the opposite sex relationship, and you want to introduce into it a same-sex relationship.
Now, he is the man who gave us Obamacare, remember? It seems like he's pretty clear on his position. And this is him speaking, by the way. It's not in translation. And we have now the female lawyer, Mary Bonato, arguing for gay marriage in clip 28. Let's hear her position.
The intimate and committed relationships of same-sex couples, just like those of heterosexual couples, provide mutual support and are the foundation of family life in our society. Yet the legal commitment, responsibility, and protection that is marriage is off limits to gay people as a class. The stain of unworthiness that follows on individuals and families contravenes the basic constitutional commitment to equal dignity.
Does anyone understand what she said? Completely. Robert, do you get it? Jim, do you follow it? Robert says yes. I'm not sure I know what she's talking about. No one is saying it's illegal to be gay. So far as I know, no one is arguing against that. And as far as the inheritance and other issues and decisions upon an individual's death, I think we already have on the books laws in most states about these things, that you don't have to be married. You can assign it to anybody. Isn't that true? I forget what it's called. But there's an assignation of this that is on the books. You don't really need to be married to have the right to inheritance. You don't have to be married to have the right to determine whether an individual is, let us say, the plug is pulled on them, if you want to make it as vulgar as that. I think I'll go vulgar. Partnership. What's domestic partnership? Right. Sorry, I didn't know the jargon for it. I come from another time. Domestic partnership. In my day, either you were married or you weren't married. There was a thing called common law marriage in my day. Some people lived in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, were commonly law married. They lived in shabby apartments with oilcloth on the floor, and the floor was cockeyed, so when a dog urinated on the floor, the urine ran down from the kitchen into the living room. Now, that's all. The only people I knew who had domestic partnership were like that. They weren't even gay. There's a guy who worked for my father. It was Louie and the Monkey. He once met a woman in a bar in Hamilton Corn, and they shacked up together. But their floors were crooked, and they had oilcloth on the floor. And they had a little Boston Terrier. And I swear to God, when the dog relieved himself on the floor, it ran down. You know what apartments cost in that dump now? I can't believe it. Williamsburg's a hot neighborhood. A dump near the Trunz meat plant. You could die going over the Kosciuszko Bridge in the summer. You could almost die going, but they don't have it there anymore. Now it's all clean and everything's fashionable. But let's get back to the gay marriage issue. If you want to sound off on it, 855-400-7282, I think is my phone number. I've played for you Roberts on it. I played for you the woman arguing for gay marriage. When I come back, we'll have Justice Kennedy, who was the middle of the road. And then we'll have Sam Alito. It's Alito, isn't it? I thought it was Alioto. I know I'm joking, but I knew the Aliotos here. They're nice people at a good restaurant, too, until Joey died. But Sam Alito on why polygamy shouldn't be legal. He goes from gay marriage to polygamy. And I think it's a topic worthy of our discussion. We'll do all the other news of the day. You could sound off at 855-400-7282. Whatever you do, don't suddenly call me a homophobe because I oppose gay marriage. They're not the same thing. They're not one and the same thing. Don't categorize me. It's like saying because I oppose welfare, I'm against blacks. Or I oppose welfare, therefore I'm against poor people. There's not the same thing. Do you understand one is not the same as the other? I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I trust to protect my wealth with gold and silver. Call 800-BUICOIN. Muslims, I should say extremist Muslims, are cutting off the heads of gays, burning churches to the ground, killing Christians, galloping across the Middle East, unifying with radical Muslims in Africa and Asia and Middle East, and we're worried about gay marriage. All right, that's America. That's what makes us such a wonderful, free and open society. And it does differentiate us from those throwbacks. I agree with you. And it's the mark of a great society that we can discuss this without shooting each other, by the way. And we do have a place for that. And that place is the Supreme Court, which is ultimately the deciding body that will determine whether or not gay marriage will be legal in 50 states. And I think that I don't think Obama has the capacity to override them. He might try it. God only knows what he could do with a pen if they decide against gay marriage, what he might do. But nevertheless, we have the issue. It's being discussed. And even CNN has this headline, Supreme Court justices skeptical of redefining marriage. So we're talking about it. I think the forum called Talk Radio is the perfect place for America to discuss it. And remember, we may not agree during the discussion. We may get angry. But it doesn't mean we have to go away hating each other. As my father's store had a little sign, as I said many times, if we disagree,